keep doing if you're 400 metres, you're doing 300 metres right. You're not getting the 100 metres at the end right. Something's got to change. Now, I go back to coaches in sprinting, quite good. They go, do you know what they do? I need to tweak something. I need a new coach to get me over the line. Tennis, I need a new coach to get me over the line. This is what these people are saying now. They're not having I don't think they're saying Mikel's rubbish. I don't think they're saying, there are the stupid ones that are saying that he's a clown and all that and things like that. But that's a semi-final last night. He's responsible for that.
As I said, right, first semi-final since 2010.
So he's responsible for that.
People put it. This is important to put these things into context.
It is.
We've been to one final, right?
We've challenged for the league for the last 2 seasons.
Yeah,
all of that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
But
and also one final, 2006. That's when that was. That's nearly 20 years ago. Last semi-final, 2010, right? So we do have to put that in context. However, as you say, Lee,
it is about now getting over the line now, and that is the conversation now. And if I'll be really honest, and I don't know how you feel about that, you can say I'm not 100% sure what I've seen against Newcastle, what I've seen against Man United at home, what I've seen constantly over the last couple of years, that he can get us over the line. Now that is not a criticism of him as a manager, you know what I mean? Like,
well, it is. It's a fair criticism.
It's a fair criticism as a manager. It doesn't mean to say he's not a good manager. It doesn't mean to say he's a good. There's a winning is fine margins, and at the end of it, to me, you've got to be able, to do it even as a player, Rob. You know what I mean? There's a lot. Like Harry Kane gets consistently. Is he world class because he's never got over the line? Right, he's got over the line with Bayern Munich, but it's not the same, because that's expected. But like at the end of the day, there's always that little mark against you if you can't do it. And at this moment in time, I'm not convinced with what I've seen last night, particularly at home, that he has got it. Now, people will say he hasn't got the players and whatever, but the decisions that he made for that first leg weren't elite as far as I'm concerned. And listen, I'm not saying what his job and all that. I have an opinion. As a fan, I'm entitled to an opinion, same as you are, Same as the guys now that want him out. They're entitled to an opinion. But at the end of the day, you've got to, somewhere along the line, you've got to get it done, Rob, you know what I mean? And he hasn't.
No, 100%. 100%. And, I said in the fan cam that I did last night, I spoke about him being backed as well. Because another thing that's really annoyed me has been, if you look, there's a correlation. There's a correlation when you look at it. I look at it, people at the moment are saying, he's been in charge for, 5 years, 6 years? This is his 6th season, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right? So to me, I look at the first few seasons and say to myself, listen, those were complete rebuilds. They were, right? We were in a terrible place when he took over. Let's remember that. Finishing an 8th and things like that. He then took it to that season when we all of a sudden became second. I don't care. People don't be revisionists. Go and look back on that. No one was expecting us that season to challenge for the league. That was ahead of time. Everybody was like, wow, we could actually win it. You know what I mean? We were thinking more the season after. I think that season after is then when I start to look at it now and start to say, right, we were really, really good last season. Really good.
Yeah, it's got to be next season or never now. I'm sorry, I'm not in this camp of wanting the manager out, but you can see it over last night and coming out of the ground that it's getting that way, Rob. I don't know if I agree with it, but it's got to be. This can't continue. It can't continue.
Like you said. 2 semi-finals failed. 2nd or 3rd or wherever we're going to finish in the league, failed in that, right? I know there's been loads of injuries. There's been mitigation with that. But I'm with you, Lee. I feel that now, if the time is, the clock is ticking on Mikel Arteta. If he doesn't win anything next season, and I don't even think a Carabao Cup or something like that's when I'm talking about winning. I'm talking about Champions League, Premier League, FA Cup, maybe he could survive off if he had a great season and it was, but I think he has to win something substantial, or you're going to have to think about making a change for sure, because I'm getting Gareth Southgate settings here where it's, when you picked up the thing, it was bad. You've done really, really well. Southgate was with England, was starting to, when you look at what he achieved compared to all who came before since 1966, you've got to say he's done a great job, Southgate, yeah? But didn't get us over the line. When we were in the final of the Euros, didn't do it. Ended up having to go. So it's going to be a similar thing with Mikel Arteta. I think he gets next season because he's got a bit of mitigation this season because of the amount of injuries and everything like that. But next season, he has to win something. He's put himself under a lot of pressure now.
He has, and he puts himself under pressure with some of the things that he says. First of all, about the Gareth Southgate. Gareth Southgate had all the players as well. He had a Harry Kane up front, blah, blah, blah. Mikel hasn't got that.
Yeah, that's true. Spoke about him being backed as well. Because another thing that's really annoyed me has been, if you look, there's a correlation. There's a correlation when you look at it. I look at it, people at the moment are saying, he's been in charge for, was it 5 years, 6 years? This is his 6th season, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right? So to me, I look at the first few seasons and say to myself, listen, those were complete rebuilds. They were, right? We were in a terrible place when he took over. Let's remember that, finishing an 8th and things like that. He then took it to that season when we all of a sudden became second. I don't care. People don't be revisionists. Go and look back on that. No one was expecting us that season to challenge for the league. That was ahead of time. Everybody was like, wow, we could actually win it. We were thinking more the season after. I think that season after is then when I start to look at it now and start to say, right, we were really, really good last season. Really good.
Yeah.
But they didn't get that top striker in, right? Then they saw the results of how well we did that season, just losing out to Man City. They didn't go out in the summer and buy that striker. I wasn't against the Marino signing. I think he's proved to be a very good player, and I think he'll be a player, be better next year. I think Calafiori, all right, we're not seeing the best of him because of injuries. Sterling's been an absolute disaster, as we know. It happens in loan signings or signings. But what they should have done, they had the whole summer to go and get a striker, and everybody was left baffled.
Keep doing if you're 400 metres, you're doing 300 metres right. You're not getting the 100 metres at the end right. Something's got to change.